I made it to the cafeteria early and plopped down, sprawling halfway on the table. It would be nice to skip this and just go straight up to the club. I'd missed 2 mornings of research. I really needed to catch up. Girl, you don't even have your journal anymore.
Nora?
An unfamiliar torso came into my field of vision. I straightened and peered up at Adrian, because of freaking course it's gonna be Adrian. Adrian, will you go climb a tree? Oh. Did you need something?
I'm not bothering you, am I? You seemed a little distracted.
I noticed you stayed out of arm's reach this time.
I learned my lessons quickly. Anyway, can I talk to you for a moment? About the art exhibit and the pieces you were thinking of submitting. You never showed me this morning.
Oh.
Unless you have something to study right now.
I glanced around wondering where his usual group was. They weren't around. Suspicious. Girl! I'm so proud of you. Suspicious. I just really didn't have the energy to get involved in vampire drama, especially with everything else going on. I had way more important things to worry about. I didn't know how to politely turn him down, though, especially since he was on the exhibit committee and had a legitimate reason for asking. Well, if you want, I can show you now. He pulled up a chair and shot me a smile. Don't get your hopes up. I just brought a few small things. Nothing that wouldn't easily fit in my backpack. I pulled my bag onto the table and pulled out a thin portfolio where I'd put some polished drawings and a couple of small canvas boards. I slid it across the table to him. He opened it, looking down curiously at the first painting.
What are you doing?
Oh, thank you for finally showing up. You gotta take back your turf, man. This guy's edging in. Adrian snapped the book shut and looked up at Mark, who was standing a few feet away with a frown on his face. We were just...
Are you going to help me study for the exam? Oh, that's right. I forgot you had to help Mark with his sagging grades.
Oh! Ouch!
That's right, she does.
We hadn't really made plans to do that this period. Not that I minded helping, but I wasn't thrilled with how he'd worded that.
It's alright. I can finish looking at your work later.
He pushed the book back toward me and stood.
See you around, Nora.
I raised an eyebrow as he left. Why did it feel more and more like I was getting drawn into an issue between them? Probably because you were. Mark sat down, frowning at me.
I wasn't aware you had become friends with him.
Oh, we're not friends. More like,
friendly acquaintances.
Well, we do have art together, and I've been asked to submit something for the art exhibit. And since he's helping with it... I shrugged. There was more to it, but Mark had made it pretty clear he didn't want me prying into their issues, so I felt it might be wiser to play dumb regarding that.
I see. Are you aware of what he is?
He pulled my portfolio closer, but I yanked it back and shoved it in my backpack. Mark frowned at me, but I ignored it. He didn't get to look without asking first. Ellie had already told me, and Adrian confirmed it.
I see you're careless as always. You literally just had a lesson on why you need to be more careful.
This is totally different.
It's not different. You know what he is, but you still talk to him so casually, as if nothing bad is ever going to come of it.
I talk to you casually too.
That is different.
How? Mark was silent. He finally leaned in closer, lowering his voice.
I have less animosity toward humans.
I'm apparently not human, if you haven't noticed. I leaned in closer to him. And I don't have to justify to you who I talk to.
I told you to be careful. You never listened to me.
I don't have to listen to you. If you recall, you made it very clear that you're not my babysitter. Ugh, this was so stupid. You know what? I have a free period next, so I think I'm just going to go up to the club room. I shoved everything in my backpack and fled the cafeteria. If fairies were annoying, vampires were definitely way worse. I was getting sick of all this bickering. We clearly needed a break from being around each other or something. Oh no, you're taking a break already. You guys aren't even official yet.
Nora! Hey, wait up!
You are nothing but trouble. Will you go away? You're causing strife. Adrian again. He caught up easily and walked beside me for a minute without saying anything. I tried to quiet the urge to strangle him.
Hey, are you and Mark dating?
What? No? What the heck? We're just... we're just friends. Sort of. Well, I was using friend pretty loosely, but whatever.
So he's been upgraded from an acquaintance to a friend?
I said sort of. And why are the two of you so fixated on what wording I use for the other one?
Both of us are?
I glared at him and continued walking. When we reached the bottom of the stairs, I stopped and took a deep breath. Adrian?
Yeah?
Why are you doing this?
Doing what?
You never spoke a word to me until you saw me interacting with Mark, and now you talk to me every time you see me. Girl, proud of you for just calling him out on his nonsense. He blinked in surprise. I get that there's some kind of tension between you and Mark, something to do with vampire society. I've seen how you and your friends treat him, and I don't really like it. But I just have way too much going on right now to be willing to be a part of whatever this drama is. I don't know if you're talking to me to upset him or if you think it'll make him jealous, but I have no intention of being used as a bullying tactic or whatever. And finally, look, Mark and I really are just study partners, friendly acquaintances, or whatever you want to call it. He's not going to get jealous if you talk to me. So what I'm saying is, you're being kind of obvious, and I really just want you to stop.
Wow! That was blunt.
I'm too annoyed to mince words.
But that's what I like about you. You don't try to hide anything. You just put it all out there.
Urge to kill rising.
You and Mark are really just study partners.
Yes!
He's never tried to...
Try to what?
No, nothing. Forget it. Mark really hasn't told you anything. I mean about... anything?
First of all, anything about anything is infuriatingly vague. All this hinting at deep, dark, and angsty secrets is very vampire-like, but it's also super annoying, just so you know. Second of all, no, he hasn't. And honestly, I can't imagine what possible reason you guys can have for such juvenile bullying. I mean, stealing his table at lunch? Really? And paying attention to me like it's going to bother him? It's all so pointless. Even if you have some kind of reasonable grudge against him, this kind of thing isn't going to accomplish anything.
So you're saying that if I've got a grudge, I should just go all out?
No, that is not what I'm saying.
Do you lecture him this much, too?
I lecture everyone when they deserve it.
I see. Well, you're not really wrong about it being pointless. But you are wrong about him caring whether I talk to you.
I don't want to hear that Mark cares about me from Adrian. I'll let Mark tell me that, so I'm not picking the bottom. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. I think it could be taken as Nora really doesn't care either way what Mark thinks of her, because she just doesn't care. It's like a very neutral, just like, what he can think of me whatever he wants, because I feel nothing towards him. This, it's like, to herself, she's thinking he has no reason to care about me. Even though, like, I kind of like him, there's nothing interesting. There's nothing to draw him to me, so... And if Mark's listening at all, he might be like, but I care, I was so worried when you almost died. Sorry, but I don't think I am. Either way, I want you to stop.
Talking to you?
No! Doing what you're doing.
I didn't mean to upset you. To be honest, I didn't think you'd notice.
Well, I'd have to be pretty bloody blind and deaf and whatever else to not notice. Do all vampires look down on other people this much? I'm not an idiot, despite what you, Mark, and every other vampire apparently thinks. Hey, leave Elliot out of that. Elliot's a bean. He thinks you're great. I paused. Thank you, girl. Yes, stand up for Elliot. Except Elliot. He doesn't usually treat me like I'm stupid.
You know, a lot of girls would just be happy I was talking to them without questioning why.
Is that supposed to impress me?
I can see why Mark likes you.
Oh my god, stop! I left him there and started quickly up the stairs. Of course he followed. Velos, I need an anti-vampire shield.
I know you think I was trying to make him jealous. And I guess it's not far off. But it wasn't for the sake of bullying. I just needed to see how far he'd go to make sure you were his.
That made me stop dead in my tracks. I'm sorry. What did you just say? His? Just... what?
Not like that. It's not what you think. Look, you don't know much about us, so let me tell you one thing. What I said about how we deal with people in terms of predator and prey, that was true. Our instincts are pretty hard to ignore. That's a fact. Those of us who've lived around humans are pretty good at curbing them, though. But Mark grew up really isolated. So if you think he's got the level of self-control he claims to, you're wrong. And we didn't want a repeat of what happened 2 years ago. But it doesn't seem like he's crossed the line yet.
What are you talking about?
If you really want to know, you should ask him about Alex.
That's enough! Yeah, enough is enough. We both looked up with surprise when Mark broke into our conversation by grabbing my arm and yanking me away from Adrian. Oh, he's gone into full protecto mode. What are you...
Knock it off, Mark.
You're the one who needs to stop. How many times does she have to say she has nothing to do with this? Mark! Let go! I tried to pry his hand off my wrist to no avail. We're leaving. I said let go! He dragged me away from Adrian, and unable to pull my hand away, I was compelled to follow. He shot a death glare over his shoulder. Don't follow us. I don't care what problem you have with the rest of my family, but if you keep trying to provoke me, I won't let it slide. Mark didn't release my hand, not even when we reached the 4th floor. I told you not to talk to others. I'm going to stop talking to you if you don't let go of my arm right now. I tried to pull away, but he just yanked me along with him. Damn it, Mark! Let go! We reached the club in record time. Without a word, he pulled me through the door and... What? Why are we in random Corvin makeout storeroom? Who saw us go in here? What the hell? Where? We weren't in the club room. Or at least not the one I was used to seeing. In fact, I couldn't see much of anything. It was pitch black and musty. And smelled like... cleaner? Some sort of supply closet? Hi. She is so pissed. Well, I guess they're both so pissed. I'm so glad we have an angry CG for the two Tsunderes. Mark suddenly whirled on me, slamming his hand against the wall. He held me there, pinned tightly between him and the wall. I told you not to get involved with strange cryptics! Adrian doesn't fit my definition of a strange cryptic. He's a classmate. And a vampire, like you. He's not like me. What's going on between you two? Who is Alex? It's none of your concern. It is my concern if I'm going to be put in between the two of you. I didn't exactly ask for this. You shouldn't have talked to him then. Get off me! I tried to twist myself out of his grip. He was having none of it. Do you know what happens to humans who get mixed up with vampires? I was startled as I looked up at him. For a second, just a split second, my heart fluttered at the sight of his face so close to mine. I sometimes forgot it because we spent so much time bickering, like now, but he was sort of weirdly beautiful. And the inner Chizuru comes out. Down, girl. This isn't the time for that. Beautiful or not, he had me pinned down in a freaking closet, and that wasn't okay. I tried to escape, but he pushed me against the wall again. Do you? Let me go! You have no idea what you're getting mixed up in. Oh, she made him blush, girl. Go get it. I love that Nora basically just used an Uno reverse card on Mark. That's amazing. I grabbed his collar with my free hand and yanked him closer, leveling a furious glare at him. I said let go, because I'm about 2 seconds from finding out firsthand if vampire males have the same vitals as human males. Mark raised an eyebrow. I glared back unflinching. To my surprise, he finally released me. I doubt it was because he was worried, but at least I was free to leave. I rubbed my wrist. There was an angry red handprint on it from where he'd been holding me. Smack! I shoved him away and turned to yank the door open. I didn't even know how we'd ended up in a closet. But that was the furthest thing from my mind at the moment. I just wanted to get away from him. So when I was confronted with the sight of a dark and empty classroom on the other side of the door, I let out a frustrated groan. Ugh, what is going on? I stalked across the classroom to the door. I twisted the handle repeatedly. It was definitely not opening. Ah! I slammed my fist against it angrily. Is there a problem? I turned on him angrily. Of course there was a problem! There was obviously a problem! Where are we? An empty classroom somewhere. Thank you, Sherlock. By the looks of it, we're somewhere on the 4th floor. Many of the classes here have locking spells on them to keep students out. So we're locked in a classroom on the 4th floor? That is the end conclusion of what I just said, yes. How did we end up here? You took me to the club room. I can't think of a reason the door would send us somewhere else unless something was wrong with the spell. Well, it's probably Spencer. Does that happen? Not that I'm aware of. Wait, no. Velo said something about this. That the spell breaks down and doesn't work properly if it encounters someone that is between. Realization hit me. Oh my god, I'm going to kill him. Kill whom? Velos mentioned the spell breaking down because we were discussing my brother. You think your brother was in the club and that's why it sent us here? Maybe. Probably. No, I'm certain that has to be it. What else could cause it? Maybe the magic club room's trying to get you two to kiss and make up? Maybe. I resisted the urge to just scream. Worst day ever. I yanked my phone out and sent a hurried text to Allie. She was in class, but I hoped she'd see it during the passing period or something. I stared at my phone screen as the loading bar froze halfway. My texts aren't going through. Why aren't my texts going through?
How should I know? Perhaps it's because of the locking spell.
How does that make sense?
I'm not a wizard.
Yeah, well, you're also not helpful. Can't you jump out a window or something? Go get help?
Are you interested in jumping out the window to go get help?
You're a vampire! You have vampire powers!
They don't include jumping from a 4th-story window in broad daylight and walking away unharmed.
If you can't even do that much, you need to stop acting like you're so superior.
I wasn't aware that was the benchmark for superiority.
Well, now you know. The banter is so good. Oh, I love these two. Mark let out a long, slow breath.
All we can do is wait for someone to notice we're missing and come find us. I would recommend you calm down so being stuck in here together is bearable for us both.
Don't tell a lady to calm down.
And don't tell me you are calm.
Fine. I slumped against the wall and tried texting Allie again. I really hoped someone realized we were missing soon.